let's talk about Fred Warner. I was really enthusiastic with him in camp, but it's camp. Now we see him in games, and he really is better than last year. How good is he, and does he remind you of any linebacker from the past? Not that I already ruined that, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I have 2 points regarding Fred Warner. One I told you on the phone.
Yes.
One I didn't. So my first point regarding Fred Warner is I think he's the best linebacker in football now. I really do. I think he's better than Eric Kendricks, and Kuechly is gone. And I think Bobby Wagner is starting to slow down a little bit. Maybe out of respect, I would still say he's the best linebacker in football. But I think
Leighton Vander Esch.
He's hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think
Miles Jack is always complaining. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Sure. So I think I would have Fred Warner right in that conversation, or he is. And his growth right now reminds me a lot of Bobby Wagner when the Legion of Boom started fading and that defense was still pretty good. And people started to appreciate, dang, Bobby Wagner has been really good since 2012. And now we're going to call him the best linebacker in football because Cam Chancellor's body's breaking down, Earl Thomas's body's breaking down, Sherman's body's breaking down. And
the defense is still good. And there must be a reason why. Yeah.
And he was a quiet driving force.
No doubt.
The other point I wanted to make, someone in the comments brought up Demario Davis, and I think that's a great name to bring up. Very, very underrated linebacker on the Saints. Really, really good player. But I think Fred Warner right now is a little better.
Let's talk about the way Saleh uses him. I mean, he's doing everything. He's a pass rusher. He had a sack yesterday.
I went a little off topic, but the vibe I got last year. So I'm going to give a little backdrop to this. If you remember in 2012, the Niners went to the Super Bowl and they lost. In 2013, they won their first game. Kaepernick had that historic throwing day with Anquan Boldin against the Packers. Everything was going great. Then they had I think it was a Sunday night game, and Seattle just whooped them. They smacked them. And then came back home. They had to play Indianapolis, and Aldon Smith had that terrible, terrible, terrible DUI. And it was all just a bad situation. And Aldon Smith went to rehab, and Patrick Willis was hurt. And there were some real questions. Would they beat the Rams?
Yes, I picked the Rams to win that game. I remember picking the Rams, and I went to St. Louis and watched it myself.
Oh, okay.
I picked the freaking Rams.
One of those people who thought that the Rams would win that game. Yeah. And NaVorro Bowman was everywhere. He had 2 sacks. He had 3 quarterback hits. He was the best football player on that field, and Vic Fangio just blitzed him. And that's the vibe I got from Fred Warner yesterday. Now, Fred and NaVorro are totally different players, but with everybody hurt, and Fred Warner was everywhere yesterday. Everywhere.
Everything they needed him to do, he did. Fred, we need a pass rush, blitz. Fred, we need a pick it off. Great, he's fantastic. And they don't need Quan Alexander to yell and stuff and be like the soul of the defense. Warner seems to have that down. I like him, good player. And the other thing about Warner, we talk sometimes about how these players comport themselves and talk. When he talks in an interview, he sounds 100% like Robert Saleh. They use the same words. They have the same vocabulary. He is Robert Saleh on the field. So I think it's kind of interesting. He's a hell of a player.